My name's Gareth Jarvis. I'm a doctor who specialises in mental health care, a psychiatrist, and I'm a medical director in the mental health services in London in the UK. And I'm going to be making a series of videos about something called open dialogue. It's an approach to mental health care that I've been involved in training in, teaching and developing its implementation for the last 10 years. And I think it represents one of the most exciting things happening in the mental health care field today. So what is open dialogue? Well, at its heart, it's a way of approaching mental health care that makes sure that all conversations about somebody are held in front of them. And we do that in a way that's inclusive of the people who are important to them. And that's it. Simple as that. And as complicated as that. So when we talk about the people who are important to somebody, what do we mean? We often use this word social network, and that is, for most people, their family, but we recognise that for a lot of people it can be broader than that. It can be their friends, neighbours, other people of significance in their lives. And we try to make sure that they are drawn in to having those conversations as we try to make meaning around what is happening for somebody. Why open dialogue? I ultimately care about people experiencing mental distress. I've seen it in my own family. I've experienced it at times in my own life, and I've seen it time and time again through all my endeavours over the last 2 decades to help people experiencing mental health problems. Nothing robs us of dignity quite like a mental health crisis. And it's usually at the point of crisis that people do arrive at mental health care services. It's interesting to pause for a moment and think about that word, crisis. If we go back to the Greek origins of it, it means crossroads. And I think that's often what it is. It's a crossroads in someone's life where we can either continue doing what we've done before, or it's an opportunity for something new or different. A friend and colleague showed me something a number of years ago, which is the Chinese symbol that is used to represent crisis. And it has 2 meanings. The first is danger, and the second is opportunity. And I think that's the spirit in which I want us to think about mental health crisis, that there is an opportunity for change. I trained in open dialogue 10 years ago, and it's become the main way that I practice mental health care ever since. Why? Because of the feedback from the people I'm trying to help and those around them. And the kind of comments that I've had ever since have been things like, "What was that? That was great. Could we have some more of that, please?" And I feel heard for the first time in my life. And ever since getting that kind of feedback, it's had me hooked on wanting to understand more and to try and develop this way of working. As a mental health professional, when I come away from an open dialogue network meeting, I feel lighter inside. And I think noticing what's happening within my own body and realising that difference has been a huge part of the feedback that I've needed to realise that this is often a better way of working, both for the people who are getting the support, but also for those of us who are providing the support. Where I sit within the mental health care system as a medical director, I sadly often come into contact with times when care has not been as good as it needed to be. I see complaints, I see incident reports and investigations, and the same themes come up time and time again. There was no involvement of the family, there was poor communication, there wasn't enough kindness in the care. And I don't believe that we can keep doing the same thing again and again and expect any different results, which is why I think it's time for us to look for different ways of delivering our mental health care. And I know through my own practice-based evidence that open dialogue represents an opportunity to do our mental health care even better. It's going to take me some time to break this down and explain the different parts, so I will keep making these videos. Please subscribe to the channel. Click on the links below if you want to find some of the resources to learn more, and please provide some comments and questions in the chat, because I'd love to respond to those and make sure that future videos will answer what you'd like to know more about. Thank you.